it builds these resentments. And so I kind of call them like Legos. You can start by a little Lego. Somebody taps the toothbrush on the sink and it's annoying. That could be a little Lego if you don't say anything or they don't change it or you just let it go. But then, it builds, and by not saying anything and not communicating or thinking, well, I don't want to be petty or I don't want to be a nag, or by nagging and being petty, either way, you tend to build bricks, and then it becomes walls because the communication isn't there. So, I think that I would love to get with the people that are getting married, right out of the bat within the first year. In the first year, there's a lot of changes going on, and being able to work with them and understand different communication strategies, as well as tune up for couples that have been together for 5 years or 10 years. I see a lot of people divorcing. 12 years is really common. 18 years, 25, 50 years. I mean, it's across the board. But typically those relationships are over 2 to 5 years before they actually call it quits or file and makes a final call to end it. So, if you hear people or you find yourself saying, I just don't know if this is going to work. I don't know what's in this for me. I don't feel like myself. I don't feel like they hear me. I don't feel like they see me anymore. I don't feel like we're connected anymore. The passion's gone. I'm bored. If the kids weren't here, then what would we have? A lot of times there's little tweaks we can make individually that will impact the spouse and the relationship as a whole. And your partner can really benefit from your own personal growth. And I always tell people, what do you have to lose? People will come and they'll say, oh, I want to get divorced. And after talking to them, I realize they don't want to get divorced. They just don't know any other options because they're exhausted. And I always explain that if you can work through healing yourself and working on yourself, it can shift the relationship in a way that maybe you can reconnect if it's not too far gone. And so I think that's a really great place when you just start hearing yourself say any of those words, when you start to get indifference. There's 4 horsemen. I don't know if you're familiar with the Gottman Institute. And, you have stonewalling and indifference and, you can look them up if you'd like. And, if you find yourself getting through those stages where you don't want to answer the person, you don't want to respond, or you just don't even care and it's not worth it, reach out to someone, reach out to a professional. And I don't mean a friend, reach out to someone neutral who's a professional who can lend a new perspective in a really helpful way.
Nice. That's really good information. So I know you kind of touched a little bit of basis, but you didn't go in a lot of depth. So I'm going to ask it anyway. But what would you say is the main difference you see with people as they go through the healing process, both men and women? Because I know you said men love the tools, but what do you see as the main difference as they go through it? Like enlightenment?
Yeah, enlightenment. I would say men and women equally have an incredible opportunity. When you're faced with challenges, it is the greatest opportunity for growth. And it's really, it's almost like you've opened up the vault and now you get to decide what you want to fill it back up with and kind of discover what's in there to begin with. So the vault isn't empty. We just have to do some reorganizing and helping people to be, like you said, enlightened by what they already had in the vault that they had ignored or dismissed or weren't truly honoring. And so men and women both, I would say the commonalities are that they're finding their own voice. Who were they in the relationship? But the main differences that I see or challenges between different people, I guess if you were asking specifically with the men and the women, are, men tend to be very, and I'm going to say men in this regard because I do a lot of work with the feminine and the masculine. So I'm going to go with the masculine male and the feminine female. We both have essences of both. And I think the ability to balance, I could go talk about that for hours, but the ability to balance that and flow from feminine to masculine really lends itself to a healthy relationship. And so to just in this context, speak to the masculine men, they're used to being the providers and task oriented and getting things done, which is that masculine energy. And, that's why I think they like the tools when they're coming from that masculine. So part of the healing process is helping them be comfortable with the feminine, which is more of a flow and less of that structure and intense task of having to just accomplish and provide and be the guardian and all those roles that tend to be masculine. Is helping them to be comfortable with the feminine. If that sounds scary to men, it's really a beautiful place, and everyone has that aspect in them, just like women have, they may be in flow and compassion and nurturing, and they have all those different aspects of the feminine essence of energy, but they also can go into the masculine. So in this context, the men tend to do a better job of tapping into feminine, being able to express their feelings, learn vulnerability, work through courage. And the women find their courage and their masculine energy by being task oriented and being more decisive and, helping have someone help them to be more decisive, to be more task and to get things accomplished that maybe normally the man has taken care of. So, it's interesting to help them find the balance and just understand that, again, none of it's wrong. It's just different in where people naturally reside and what energy and how you can flow between both and really be a complete person. And it's not from weakness, it's from greater strength.
Nice. I love it. So I know we had talked a little bit and you mentioned that you are becoming an author. So tell us a little bit more about that. And will the book be very informative?
So I've been an author for a couple years. I have a program that I developed that's through the Christian churches, which is helping people rebuild after maybe going through divorce care, grief share. So it's pretty much how to rebuild and find that identity. So it is so meaty. I mean, you talk about informative. Oh my goodness, it is. I've been running it for 3 years, and the people that go through it pretty much say that it could be 2. There's so much in it. So there's something for everyone, believing that everyone will get what they're meant to in that moment. But the book that I'm working on that will come out in 2021 is very informative. And because I am naturally designed to just be a trainer, I think of myself, if I was a personal trainer, I don't want you coming to me forever. I would want to teach you the movements and the workout and the routines, and help you understand your body so you can best function on your own, so you don't have to pay me forever, but I've equipped you and trained you to be, autonomous in that. And so I see my role as a relationship strategist and, coach as the exact same thing. So the book will be informative. It's going to tell my story, where a lot of people think, oh, well, you're healthy and you have it together and you're remarried and, everything's fine with you. It's like, oh, no. Sometimes, when I share my story, I find that people are very empowered, because when they hear what I've been through, they find it gives them hope. And that's what I ultimately want to provide for people, is hope and how to listen to your intuition, how to, really know yourself, and how to speak your voice, and how to learn your values. And, through telling my story, but almost like as a study guide that could be for a women's book club discussion. So it'll be something for everyone. Yeah, I'm excited about that.
Awesome. I can't wait to see this book. But we are at the part of the show where I like to give my guests the opportunity to give the contact information for my listeners to get a hold of you if they have any questions.
Oh, fantastic. Well, anyone who wanted a 30-minute clarity call is welcome to call. There's no obligation, absolutely none. I'm happy to give resources and tips, anything at all that will help them no matter what stage they're in. So they can do that by reaching out to me on my website, or just CHEL at CHELCARTMILL.com. So that is CHEL at CHELCARTMILL.com. And my phone number is 941-877-1978. But again, you can schedule one of those calls. I have a whole divorce checklist kit, tips for people that are considering leaving, so I can send that to them. There's various different groups that I run online for boundaries, for healthy love after heartache, and for Reclaim if they're in the Florida area, and churches that are looking for a program there. So there's a multitude of ways, but definitely would just say reach out to me at CHELCARTMILL.com.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Chel, for being on the show for Socially Joe. I can't wait to have you back on here again, and it's always a pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, Joe. I appreciate it so much. Thank you.
Not a problem. Well, you have a great day.
You too. Fantastic. Thanks.